I hired the cleaner my mother-in-law says I need and sent her the bill. My mother-in-law has this thing she does where she runs a finger along the top of a door frame and then just looks at it. Doesn't say anything. Just looks at her finger, then looks at me, then wipes it on a tissue she keeps in her sleeve like she came prepared. She's been doing it for 6 years. I used to scrub the whole house the night before she visited. Baseboards, the little grooves in the window tracks, the top of the fridge nobody can even see. I'd be up until midnight and my husband Dan would go, "You know she's not gonna say anything nice either way." And he was right, but I did it anyway. Then this past fall it stopped being the finger thing. She started saying it out loud. At dinner, in front of Dan's brother and his wife, she goes, "I just think a clean home is the foundation of a happy marriage. When I was raising Daniel, you could have eaten off my floors." And everyone kind of laughed, the polite laugh, and I laughed too because what else do you do? But then a week later she called me directly, which she never does, and said she'd been thinking about my situation. My situation, like I'm a charity case. "I really think you need a cleaner," she said. "Some women just aren't built for it, and that's okay, sweetheart. It's not a character flaw." I said something like, "We're doing fine, the house is fine." And she goes, "It's fine for you. But Daniel grew up a certain way, and I worry he's settling." I want you to sit with that word, settling, about her son, because I keep an untidy house. So I said, "You know what? You're right. I'll hire someone." And she got so happy, so warm all of a sudden. "Oh good, I'm glad you're finally listening. This is what maturity looks like." Here's the part I didn't tell her. I actually work a lot, more than Dan, honestly, which is a whole other thing at their family gatherings that I won't get into. Money isn't the issue for us. The issue was never that I couldn't afford a cleaner. It's that I didn't want a stranger in my house, and I liked doing it my way. But if she wanted a cleaner, fine. She wanted a cleaner. So I found a really good one. Not the cheap kind. The kind that does a deep clean, the kind that costs what it costs because they're insured and bonded and they bring their own everything. I booked her for a full day. Baseboards, window tracks, top of the fridge, all of it. And when I made the booking, I put my mother-in-law's name and address in as the billing contact. Because see, when she said you need a cleaner, I heard something specific. I heard that a clean house was so important to her, so central to her whole idea of a good marriage, that she was willing to insert herself into my home to make it happen. And if it mattered that much to her, she could fund it. The cleaner came, did a beautiful job, genuinely. My house has never looked better. And 3 days later, my mother-in-law calls me, and her voice is doing this shaky thing. "I got an invoice," she says, "for $420 from a cleaning company. It has my name on it." "Oh good, it went through." I said, "I hired the cleaner, like you wanted. Why is it addressed to me?" "Because you're the one who decided I needed one." I said, "I was fine. You weren't. So it felt right that the person who has the problem pays to solve it." Silence. Then, "That is not. I meant for you to hire one, with your money. But it's not my problem," I said. "You've been running your finger along my door frames for 6 years telling me my house isn't good enough. So I got you the house you wanted. Here's the bill." She said Dan would be hearing about this. I said, "Great, put it in writing, I'll frame it." Then she said the thing she always says, the "in my day" thing. In my day, a woman took pride in her home and didn't send invoices to family. And I said, in my day, a mother-in-law didn't tell her son he was settling. Guess we're both disappointed. She hung up. Dan came home that night and I'd left the invoice on the counter and he read it and he just started laughing. Not a mean laugh. The laugh of a man who's been waiting 20 years for someone to hand his mother a receipt. She paid it, passive-aggressively in a card, with a note that said "for your household." I taped the note above the door frame she always checks. She hasn't run her finger along anything since.